Hey, Chico's listeners. Through your support and enthusiasm, we finally hit episode 75. This is a pretty big deal for us. This was always the hope that we would get this far. But as we hit these milestones, we have to give credit where it's due. And that credit goes to you fine folks. More of you are tuning in all the time, and we're constantly striving to give you something worth listening to. We'd like to extend this thank you to our friends at audioBoom as well. Through their help, we've managed to reach more listeners from all over the world. It's an awesome podcast platform, one that you'd be well served to check out. You'll always find us there, as well as all of your favorite podcasts. So go grab the app for your mobile device or check them out at audioboom.com. Thanks to audioBoom, and a very special thank you to everyone who has listened and who continues to listen. Now on with the show.
Recite.
Oh, yes, sir. How doth the little bumblebee improve each...
Stop. That is not spoken correctly. It goes, how doth the little crocodile improve his shining tail, and pour the waters of the Nile on every golden scale. How cheerfully he seems to grin, how neatly spreads his claws, and welcomes little fishes in with gently smiling jaws.
Well, I must say, I've never heard it that way before.
I know. I have cheat coded it.
It's December 10th, 2015. Welcome to the 75th episode of the Cheat Codes Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. We're happy you're joining us, as always. Whether you're a long-time listener or checking us out for the first time. The next hour is us drinking a few beers and tequila and going over our favorite bits from the past week in video game, tech, and pop culture news. My name is Joe Erskine. I am your host, and we're coming to you from the smoke-drenched heights of a rather large toadstool while keeping company with a rather cryptic caterpillar. Today I'm here with Cheat Codes producer and editor, Mr. Joe Cheshire Cat Arroyo.
Can you stand on your head, Joe Erskine?
Cheat Codes contributor, Mr. Nick Mad Hatter Dolish.
Change places.
And we're very happy to have the UK content assistant at audioBoom and creator and host of the gaming podcast Double Tap, Alice Taplin.
I've never heard so many Alice in Wonderland references.
Oh, there's more coming. Wait,
I know.
Strap
I
in.
know.
Yeah, absolutely. Today on the show, we're going to be celebrating the very unhappy birthdays that are the following main topics. We've known that the Final Fantasy VII remake is getting made, but using Unreal 4, real-time combat, episodic releases. There's a whole lot to go over here based on the news from PSX and beyond. So get your Buster Swords readies, folks. Readies? Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Disney and Nintendo seem to be getting cozy, and it seems that their current alliance has yielded an eSports baby. A recent broadcast seemed a bit rough around the edges, but maybe there's more to this than meets the eye. A new dog borrowing app is taking the commitment out of pet ownership. Get it, meet a dog owner, and borrow their dog for a bit. What's not to love, you guys? It's great. For today's lightning round, we'll get curiouser and curiouser about the following bits. As you've probably heard, Hideo Kojima didn't go to the VGAs last week. It's not the VGAs, though. It's the Game Awards.
Game Awards, get it right.
Yeah, seriously. Something about lawyers and Konami being difficult. I wonder if he had attended, would a Konami lawyer dressed as Big Boss have attacked him and faulted him out? It's a reasonable question, right? Lastly, today we're going to talk about Who's Your Daddy? The asymmetric dad versus baby game. The dad must baby-proof the house before the baby can kill itself. So cut and dry, yet hilarious. And finally, somebody made a game about my life. While podcasting, instead of eating mushrooms or smoking whatever caterpillars smoke, we drink beer. This is probably for the best, but we hesitate to rule anything out, so stay tuned. That being said, today's pairing comes based on a suggestion from our guests. Alice here has recommended that we try Desperados, tequila-flavored beer. Unfortunately, it's hard to come by here in the States, so we decided to just go get some beer as usual and have throw in a little tequila. We're pairing a Sauza Añejo with the Citrus Mistress IPA from the folks over at Hop Valley, something that's kind of local to us here in the Pacific Northwest. It should be interesting. This little experiment, this little experiment will definitely garner a "you're welcome" or a heartfelt apology to the Hop Valley crew, as well as Alice. But screw it. So let's find out right now. We're gonna do a Boilermaker style, gentlemen.
Do it. Okay.
All right.
Cool.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Thanks. Oh, Jesus.
This is horrible. Cheers. Cheers, gentlemen. Cheers, Alice. Thank you for joining us.
Cheers.
That's pretty good.
That's
It's better than I thought it was going to be.
okay.
It's not bad.
That aftertaste is hurting a little bit.
I'm going to hang in there on this one. Here we go. Woo!
Yeah. Okay. All right. Alice Taplin. First, let me say, I think everyone here and involved at Cheat Codes owes you a very large heaping of gratitude. You've been a champion for us over at audioBoom, promoting and featuring the show. So thank you very much for that.
No problem. Happy to help.
But yeah, and we're grateful. So tell us and everyone listening, who are you? But tell us really about your podcast and why other podcasters might want to check out the audioBoom platform.
You know, first of all, I'm surprised you didn't manage to get an Alice, who the fuck is Alice reference in there, because everybody says that to me.
Fair enough.
Well, you did it, so.
Well, yeah, there you go.
Right. Omission by ignorance.
But anyway, yeah, so my podcast, Double Tap, it's a new podcast, audioBoom's official gaming one. Awesome. So I've been doing that for a couple of weeks now. It's on it'll be episode 5 on Friday the 13th, is it?
I think that sounds right.
Or the 11th. No, Friday the 11th.
Okay.
I was reading my calendar in the American way instead, which is weird because I'm American. I don't know what's happening.
Fair enough. We have that effect on people.
I've had less tequila than you, and I'm already going weird. But anyway, yeah, so it's a short form podcast, so it's meant to fill like the sort of average length of a commute, at least in London. So it's about 20 minutes each episode, and it's kind of aimed at all gamers, so you know, casual, hardcore, something for everyone in there. And yeah, I basically just chat to other podcasters and journalists about the big releases or the big news of the week, and I also usually cover events or interview other people. So I've had everyone on there at the moment, from the guy who edits the gaming edition of Guinness World Records to Nolan North, obviously from Uncharted. So yeah, it's like a sort of roundup magazine-y style podcast.
Awesome.
Yeah, I actually checked out a few of the episodes.
I think you listened to all of them.
It's pretty great. I did.
Yeah.
I banged, 20-minute episodes are easy to bang out on an hour-long commute, for that matter. But
I know the feeling. I have an hour and a half long commute.
There you go.
I feel you.
Which is kind of suitable for the length of this show.
Yeah, so you can listen to us on the way to work.
Well, we're super glad you're here. So thank you so much for taking the time. This should be fun.
Didn't we just have... Or we didn't Chris Morris just joined you, didn't he, on an episode?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes, he will be on. I don't know when this episode that we're recording right now is going out, but he will be on the episode tomorrow, which is Friday the 11th. So yeah, and we spoke about Xenoblade Chronicles X. So yeah.
Awesome.
Right on.
Go check
so you
that.
focus on one game at a time per like episode, or?
Yeah, well, it's difficult to, because obviously it's 20 minutes,
right?
And we have like 3 sections in it. So the first section will be talking about the latest releases or news or whatever, and then there's like a gaming news section, and then there's the interview at the end. So it's kind of difficult to pack so much in when there's sort of so little time. So yeah, we tend to try and focus on like the biggest. So the first episode was Fallout 4, obviously, and then. Yeah, we go from there. And then if there's like no news or nothing like major has happened in the week, I've got a couple of pretty good features lined up, because I work in an office where quite a few people don't really know that much about video games. So I'm going to get them to get drunk and test out some pretty bad video games or hard video games. So, you know.
Oh, that's such a great idea.
I think... yeah, you should definitely get drunk and play Dark Souls. That sounds pretty.
Oh,
sounds
God.
pretty right.
Oh yeah, Dark Souls is on the list. I'm also getting my producer to play Octodad with me. So.
That's awesome.
Now, are these? Wait, are they video podcasts?
I just listen to audio versions. Do you have video like companion pieces that go along, or?
We don't. No, it's audioBoom exclusive, obviously, because we're
yeah, it's not Video Boom, Joe. All right,
just checking, because I was curious how that would play out.
You'd be surprised actually how many people do ask about video or writing, and I'm like, the clues in the title, it's audioBoom.
Right, yeah.
Well, there's audio in video, so
That's very true.
okay, that's the best recovery I could come up with.
Scrambling over here.
Well, wait, but
Sorry.
with these features where you bring on, like your producer and you get them drunk and play, Octodad or something, is that gonna have a video companion? I mean, maybe not on audioBoom, but you guys put something on YouTube where you can see like what they're doing in the game, or do you think that would hold up, purely audio?
Well, see, that's something I think would be interesting to experiment with because it's such a new podcast, so we're kind of still finding our feet and finding what works. So we could do a video companion with it, but I think we'll try just audio because otherwise, why would you maybe listen to it when you watch it? So we'll
True.
see.
Yeah.
Well, I'm terribly interested in this in the audio form. That's mainly why I'm asking, because I'm so curious how people would create their own visuals around it when someone's reacting to playing a game that you can't quite see. Like
Right.
I actually think that'd be really compelling. So I'm dying to see the first feature play out. By see, I mean here. Don't worry, guys. I got it.
All right, so you guys new episodes every week from Double Tap, and what you guys launch them on Fridays? Same as
Yes,
us.
every Friday. Yeah.
Ooh, okay,
It's
awesome.
usually about sort of between midday and 2 GMT, so I don't know what that works out where you are, but
We're not going to do the math.
Yeah,
it's
That's early.
it's on the internet. You can listen to it when you want,
exactly. I know we release on Fridays as well. So
Oh, okay.
no, it's whatever. I'm not taking it personally. It's fine.
Well, look, if somebody has like an hour and a half commute, they can listen to your podcast and then they can listen to mine, and then
Everybody wins. Everybody wins.
or
Absolutely.
yours and then ours.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not judging. Whatever they want to do.
Yeah, it's
ladies first.
don't be so uncouth, Joe. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I suggested it.
All right. Well, thank you again for being here. We're gonna have some fun.
Topic one.
Topic one it is. Yeah. All right. We're going to talk about Final Fantasy VII, everybody. The remake is underway. We're all very excited. Maybe a little trepidatious. Maybe a little unsure. But
There's a lot of hype going around.
the hype train is full steam ahead here. That's more of a boat reference, but that's fine.
The hype boat.
The hype boat is... It has set sail, for sure. I think what's worth noting here... PlayStation experience in San Francisco this past weekend happened. Obviously, the big reveal for Final Fantasy VII came at last year's E3, or this year's E3, the most recent E3. Sorry.
I think so, yeah.
We got a bunch of news. There's a bunch of things to kind of like talk about in regards to the PlayStation experience, but I think the thing that we're most interested in, or that spoke loudest to us, was the whole Final Fantasy VII thing, right?
Well, yeah.
It's one of the bigger
What came with
topics,
a new trailer got rolled out, and we got to see a lot of the intro kind of cinematics, like all flashy and styled up, and that was kind of great. But what kind of trickled out over the course of the weekend was some really interesting tidbits in regards to the fact that they're not using Luminous Studio Engine, which Final Fantasy 15 and Kingdom Hearts 3 is using.
Kingdom Hearts 3 actually switched to Unreal also.
Did they really?
Yeah,
Okay.
they did.
Okay.
Totally.
As well as things like a changed combat, like real-time combat as opposed to the turn-based. And then, I mean, they're just talking about, in very vague terms, about changing a lot of the narrative and the content that's within there. And then most importantly, I think, the fact that they want to release it episodically, which is kind of like a what situation?
Not expected, I think.
Yeah, really kind of out of left field, in my opinion. But, we're here, we're gonna talk it all through here for our own benefit and yours, listener, hopefully. But, I don't know. Feel free to chime in here, folks.
I guess I'm still a little bit surprised that we saw stuff so early, because the reveal that they had at E3 was just like this 5-second trailer of like
Right.
Cloud walking away, and then right now we already have gameplay and stuff. So I was a little shocked, honestly, that we got this. So I got really hyped for that, I guess. But then the combat was completely different. I was like, oh, this is, I don't know, like
Better?
it could be better. Yeah,
Looks like
I mean,
Kingdom Hearts combat, and that makes me so excited.
Okay. All right. Alice, how are you feeling about it so far?
I also was surprised that they even were giving us a trailer. I was like, oh, they actually are doing it. So, at least this is proof that it's actually being worked on.
Right.
But, then the episodic stuff, I was like, I don't like that. I would rather, because it's just like you'll get one and then you'll have to wait about like a year or something for the next one. So
yeah, it's not going to be like a Telltale or even like the way they did Resident Evil, the Revelations 2 HD. I don't know.
Was there a real mention of what the duration of time would be between? No. So none of that's even been talked about yet. Okay,
it's odd because it's like we all know what happens in the game. Like, and if they're trying to like suspend, like
leave it on a cliffhanger or something,
I know what's going to happen. Like,
maybe you don't know what's going to happen if they're willing to change the entire combat system. And then who knows? Maybe certain characters do not die.
I could see them changing some of it, I guess, but it's still, I don't know.
But there are like very large kind of open world sequences in that game where you can kind of just run around and snag materia and do kind of like side quest stuff. But like how do you make a non-linear thing episodic? I guess is my question.
This is kind of a good question for everyone to chime in on. Is if they do it episodically and they leave it like the end of each episode is actually in one of those sections, like you said, where you have that open world thing, like you cap the story and then you've got this really long big field where you can run around with Chocobo and fucking just grind for a year until the next Final Fantasy VII
Knights of the Round materia, that kind of stuff.
Is that a good thing?
I don't know, but honestly, I don't even know if they're going to actually include that much open world with it. Like, if they make it episodic, it doesn't make as much sense to be able to give the person that much freedom to keep playing the game when they're supposed to be like wanting the next episode to come out. I don't know.
Yeah, Alice. Like, so we remember back when the original, Final Fantasy VII came out, 3 discs worth of content, right? So what if they just release it like a disc at a time? Like, you know what I mean? Does that make? I don't know. Is this warming up to you at all as far as an episodic kind of layout?
No.
Not at all. All right, good. Stick to your guns. I mean, absolutely.
That's my straight answer there. But I don't know. With my entire feeling, not just about the episodic stuff, but the whole thing is that I was just getting very like mixed messages where half the time they were like, there's going to be dramatic changes to it. And then the other half of the time they were like, we're going to try and keep it as much like Final Fantasy VII, the original, as possible. And I was like, so which one are you doing then? So, yeah, I don't know. I got quite confused, to be honest.
I agree. I think they're walking a fine line whichever way they go, because if they keep it like wholly the same and basically just reskin it with new,
graphics,
right? Then from a purist standpoint, I guess people would be happy. But at the same time, it's like,
I don't think so. I actually think people would be very unhappy if that's what they did.
Really?
Personally.
Well, because you can go and play old Final Fantasy VII on PlayStation 4 right now. Like they released the old one.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry, Alice. I didn't mean to cut you off. What did you want to say?
That's fine. I was just going to say, I think that it doesn't really matter what they did, that there would be people that would be unhappy regardless. So if they kept it exactly the same, it just improved the graphics, people would be like, well, what's the point? I can just play the old one.
Right.
But then if they do all the stuff that they're doing, people will be like, oh, you're ruining it. So it's like, well, what do you want, Yeah,
you can't please them all, right, ultimately, so...
What I love most about this idea, and I'll use my wife as an example, because she kind of just got into the idea of gaming, and more she likes to play the film-esque type games, because
lots of narrative.
Well, that's a really good way to transition into gaming for someone who likes to watch movies and TV, right? So this one's really interesting because when she hears Nick and myself talk about Final Fantasy VII, it's this our eyes get all big like we're little children, and we're just like, oh, Santa delivered this game basically, and it's like the best thing in the world, and milk and cookies. So when she sees that, she wants to have that experience. And the other day, Nick brought us the Steam link downstairs and played some of the original Final Fantasy VII for her. And she actually thought it was cool, but was just kind of like, it's really hard for me now to getting into this after seeing what I've seen with like Uncharted and stuff like that, to appreciate the game on that level. So for me, what I'm most excited about is how they might adapt this for kind of like the new generation of gamers, or the people who kind of got late on the train to maybe have that similar experience that I had playing this game. And so even if it's different, I just love the idea that maybe a newer audience will be able to be as happy as we were when we played it. I don't know.
Recapture the lightning in the bottle, so to speak. Yeah,
so
right on.
Yeah, I'm really excited for the prospect of actually adding a lot of voice acting to it also. Like, I don't have to sit there and read it. And like, when I was up there playing it with you guys, it was very much me reading, and I would have to scroll through the text at my discretion, and I don't know if you guys are done or not, or you're cooking, you can't necessarily read it. But if they're speaking, then we can all like play together and it'll work out better.
It was like when we played Undertale a little bit upstairs.
Yeah.
I read the voices of all the characters for everybody.
We had to assign characters to people. Yeah.
Oh my God.
It was like doing a table read for a game.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you're gonna play her and I'm gonna play him.
That was fun, but yeah.
Sure. Sounds good to me. Alice, so are you on board, or are you highly skeptical enough to the point where you're like, you know what, I did this once, I don't need to do it again?
No, yes, I think they're changing it enough to make me curious about, what it's going to be like. And even if I at the moment dislike the idea of episodic, I still think it would be interesting to see how that ends up, Yeah, no, absolutely. So I definitely think they're changing it enough to make me want to play it again, instead of just being like, well, this is the same game with better graphics, so what's the point,
Sure.
It's one of those things where it's like they're changing, but everybody at this table is still going to play it probably.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody all right if refusing to replay it?
I'm not sure I'm refusing, but I'm definitely on the fence, I think, ultimately. Like, I think I love the shit out of Final Fantasy VII. That was like the reason I bought a PlayStation. You know what I mean? Like, it was that was what sold me on it. Watching that first cinematic, like, in Midgard, and fighting
those cinematics were so
the best thing
epic.
ever. Yeah,
we're like, oh my God.
Yeah, like
look at those backgrounds; they look so real.
Like, I know a lot of people aren't, but I love the snowboarding sequence. I'm just saying, I really liked it.
The snowboard and the bike.
Yeah, exactly.
Those parts were great.
They were. But I am very. I think I share a certain amount of trepidation with you, Alice, in the sense that I think I'm kind of going to maybe wait and see how the cards fall on this one, just to kind of before I jump all on board, or put all my eggs in one basket here. I think.
So wait. What you're trying to say is that when the game comes out, you are not going to buy it day one. You're going to wait to see the reactions and the Metacritic scores and stuff before you decide to buy it.
I'm not even sure about like reactions or Metacritic scores. Like, I want to kind of like see what it is. If there's like if the void starts yelling back at me and says that this is something necessary that you should take part, then I'll keep my options open.
So you could very much change your mind if they release more awesome trailers or something that get you excited for it.
But it's like you said before, like, we've all seen it before. So even if it's like higher resolution and stuff like that, it's kind of like, yeah.
I have one more thing I'd like to address about this, because it's one of the major changes that they're talking about making. All of us played it, right? Everybody here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So we all know, right, in the original game, based on like when it came out and how quirky everything is, because the graphics are nowhere near the Uncanny Valley at all,
right,
that they actually got away with a lot of liberties in dialogue that if you put that shit, if you make a voice actor actually say some of the stuff...
I'm thinking about Barrett right away. We should say this.
Yeah. So there are many, many moments in the game I can think of now that they've addressed this in some articles I've read as well, that you wouldn't... If you said that kind of shit in a game, you'd get just thrashed. Like, it would be a
super
terrible,
insensitive, like not PC, none of that stuff.
So, like, are they going to leave that shit in there? Does anyone think they will?
No,
that's
I don't
what
think
I want.
so.
I want everyone to chime in on
Yeah.
Half of me hopes they do, just to see what happens.
Just to see the reaction.
I think like one of the biggest like examples is like the cross-dressing scene.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And then there's also the scene where like he's, getting a massage by a bunch of men or something.
Okay.
I don't remember.
I don't know if I remember that one, but I believe you. Yeah.
I don't know. It was like a bunch.
Dream that one.
No, I remember. I saw a screenshot of it or something, and it's like, I don't know, like
in his dream. Yeah.
I'm with you. Did you guys see that there was I found this on Twitter, there was a change.org petition to stop it being episodic. It's got 2 signatures. So.
It's only got 2. Which,
so people feel so passionately about it that 2 people will sign it.
2 people are passionate enough about it to get the ball rolling here.
Passionate, yeah. They're not like registered voters, but they'll definitely sign the petition.
Go to change.org just to make their voice heard. Yeah.
I guess I'm just a little bit curious. Like, are they just trying to like make a lot of money off of it by making it episodic, or they just want to get it out to the public faster, or get part of it out to the public faster, or why not just wait a little bit longer to actually finish the game and then release it? I suppose
maybe because they were because the hype train has technically been, let's just say, rolling along, because I don't want to use your boat reference again.
Sure.
But I'd say it's been happening since they released that video to just show off the PlayStation's graphics, and everybody was like, "This game is happening now," and then they're like, "No." I'm pretty sure that everybody knew the answer was yes, but we can't say yes yet. And so I really think hype's been occurring since all the way back then.
Well, it's been a long-running rumor for a long time, like
Right.
much longer than
So,
the PS4 has been around.
That's
so.
why I think I'm kind of an advocate for the idea of like, can we just get it into our hands a little bit earlier in this episodic way? If that's what makes it so that you guys can release it sooner, then I think I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
But then what if they change the gameplay in the next version or something? Like, what if they...
Well, that's a patch. Not
I know. I'm not saying a patch. I'm saying like, okay, we learned from this first episode that we made that, and we're now about to release the second, and the third one's going to come out. Let's change some of the gameplay so that it works better or something because we've been receiving feedback. Like, would that upset you then? Also, I guess I don't.
No.
I don't know. Like, then it doesn't feel like one game.
To
or
me, it's
something.
more the price. Like if they
that's-
start charging me like a ton of money to get these episodes, it's going to be tough. But
That's actually the like where I want to kind of leave this right now. Is we'll go around the horn here real quick and just be kind of like, how do you price point this if you do it episodically? Then
How many episodes? I guess.
do you buy like a season pass? Like at the front end, you're like, here's $60. Now I'm good for everything that comes out.
no, it's usually here's $60. I've got the game like Star Wars Battlefront, and here's another $60. Now I have the season pass.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what everybody's been doing.
Alice, what's going to get you on board here, like financially, as far as like what's it going to cost to get you to play Final Fantasy VII? You know,
And then do the
remake
conversions for us as well while you're at it.
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
for both euros and pound sterling, if you could.
Euros? I don't. Well,
Yeah.
there's a reason that we didn't take the euro.
Take that, European Union. Anyway.
Yeah. Oh god, I really shouldn't say that. The state of. Anyway, let's not get political. But what's it gonna take? I don't know. It's difficult to say when you sort of know that you're probably gonna play it anyway. So.
Just take my money.
Yeah.
Yeah, please don't listen to this and think that like, oh well, let's make it like £500 then, and then she'll play it anyway.
Right.
So,
Wait, is there a cutoff point where you're like, okay, that's too much?
I feel like that's too much. £500 for that's too much.
£500 would definitely be way too much. But yeah, I feel sometimes I do tend to like think, yeah, that's probably too much for a game. I'll probably just wait like, you know, a couple of months and then it'll be, you know, like 20 quid instead of 40. But, you know, it depends what it is, because with Fallout 4, I was like, I don't care, take my money, I'm just going to buy it. So
Did you get
It
the
depends what
Pit
game-
Boy edition?
I didn't know, but I was talking to someone who said that his friend got it and broke it as soon as he opened it. So
Oh, that's rough.
It's sad.
yeah.
just be
Also,
defective.
it's only built for certain phones as well, so it's quite difficult.
It's compatible with a few, but it's still pretty limited, I think, from what I
My
from what I
phone
understand.
is like, so it's like a dinosaur, so I don't think it would have been compatible with it anyway.
Okay.
You have a dinosaur for a phone? That's crazy.
Yeah, I know, it's pretty great.
Oh my god. All right.
I guess I would have one last concern, and I don't think it's really that big of a deal, but like what happens if like they release 3 of them, like 3 episodes, and then suddenly somebody buys Square Enix and they shut down the project or something, like, and nobody gets the last episode.
That would
Well, at least you'll know what the story is.
Yeah,
so,
at least
you
I know what the story
True.
is, I guess.
Very true. Unless there's like a couple different.
They change it.
Yeah, like they start to change it slightly enough for you to believe that there could be a different ending, and then they just pull the plug on it.
Don't give them ideas.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Because you'll pay for all of the episodes, and then they'll stop making them, and then you'll have paid for something you'll never get. So
And then I will be one of 2 people who sign a petition to get my money back.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll sign it with you. There you go.
There you go. We're up- It's a 100% increase right there, guys. Good job. Making a difference. All right. Next on the docket, Disney and Nintendo have a nice burgeoning little relationship, it seems. On December 5th, Disney XD here in America, it's a Disney cable network. They aired the Clash of Karts, the Mario Kart 8 tournament, which was a competition/promotion for the game. I'm not sure why they're spending a lot of time doing that when this game has been out for a long time, but you know, I don't ask hard questions anymore. Worth noting, Disney also broadcast the Nintendo World Championships that were earlier this year. I think timed right around E3, and you know, during the summer deluge into fall of all the big
Right.
expos.
We talked about it a bit.
Yeah.
Show.
Production-wise, the article describes it a bit wonkier and lower rent. I didn't see it, but it definitely seemed more of like a kind of 80s game show style competition versus like kind of the spectacle that is like the major esports events, kind of like the international for Dota 2 or list your League of Legends event here, that kind of thing. So it's also worth noting Disney also owns ESPN, which is our major sports network here in the U.S. And they've had kind of a very interesting hot and cold relationship with esports up to now as well. So let's take all this stuff together. It sounds like kind of a mess, and it is. But we're gonna do our best to make a little sense out of it. The article assumes that Nintendo, while making competitive games, seems reluctant to dive headfirst into the pro esports arena. They do have competitive multiplayer games, however, like not to the point necessarily that maybe like hardcore athletes or esports enthusiasts are gonna. I think they would like to see, but maybe not. It's more of what we see with like Hearthstone or League of Legends.
It's more of a throw the controller at your friend on the couch with you kind of like competitive game.
Yeah,
like, they're couch games in a way, I would say.
Do they lack the edge to be something to be treated with the same gravity or $1 million pools that MOBAs do, or that StarCraft
That's
does,
kind of see what you're doing, because I don't know that we can even open up that debate, because
I just opened it, dude.
Well, okay, take it out of the esports realm and take it into the sports realm, and you're that guy who's arguing which sport is better than the other sport. Like, that's just kind of silly.
I'm not necessarily okay.
People like what they like. And
think of it like this: it's like there's stuff like football and basketball or baseball or non-American football, which is real football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Thought I'd chime in there.
Yeah, your football and your cricket.
Right.
And
or rugby for that matter.
I like rugby, yeah.
Rugby's good. But it's also the kind of same thing where like you can go on maybe Sky Sports or ESPN, the equivalent here in America, where it's like you can catch that stuff on major broadcast things, or you can catch it at like 2 a.m. when they're showing pool and bowling. That kind of stuff.
Okay, so what you're asking is
is like Splatoon or Mario Kart or something like that on a competitive level.
The bowling of esports,
right? Is that the bowling, or is it the billiards of esports? Yeah, exactly.
I'd say a game like Smash Brothers is they have a pretty big following, and they do have tournaments all the time. But I don't know, like Mario Kart hasn't been as big of something that I've been into, but I know people really enjoy that game, and Splatoon's been awesome is what I've heard.
Yeah, agreed.
I'd certainly say that I'd rather play Mario Kart than watch somebody else play it, Like, I wouldn't want to spend an hour just watching people throw shells and, drive into mushrooms. Because I feel like it would just...
What if someone was... there was a commentator as well?
Or millions of dollars
and
at
a big
stake.
crowd.
I would watch that if there was a commentator who was going so overboard enthusiastic that it was hilarious. So that's when I would watch that.
So what we need is like
PewDiePie to be be for a freaking... I
wasn't going to go there. I was going to go like Dodgeball, the Ocho kind of commentating, like that kind of thing. But
well, okay, this is such a tough one.
It is tough.
To talk about.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Thanks for that. Because I don't know what we're trying to accomplish from this one per se, other than are we trying to define whether or not that Nintendo has a place in esports?
Well, here, let
game?
me throw it out like this.
Sure.
Whether or not Nintendo is reluctant to get into the esports arena or not, is a Disney/Nintendo relationship something to be feared or welcomed? And at the same time, is there room in the esports community? Is there enough? Is it getting diverse enough that, like, if Nintendo decide to pull the trigger on esports, would there be an audience for it?
I don't know.
These are tough questions here. These are tough questions.
I don't want to answer it. Alice can answer it.
Throw it over to me.
Yeah, I like it.
When in doubt, throw the guest under the bus. Yeah.
I think, well, first of all, you said, is a Nintendo-Disney relationship to be feared? I think if it's inevitable, we should bow down to our overlords and welcome them so that, we don't get murdered. But also, I think maybe if you're bringing something like Splatoon or Mario Kart into, especially if you're bringing it into a Disney channel, maybe it's a good way of getting children into esports without, they won't have to watch something that they've maybe necessarily not played yet. So
like Counter-Strike or something, yeah.
Yeah, like more of a casual esports or an esports for kids, something that, they could be into, and then later on get more into, the kind of proper serious stuff. But I definitely don't know about, having esports competitions for Mario Kart where you'd win like $200,000 for playing Mario Kart against other people, you know?
That's probably the best point that I didn't even bother to think about that at all. Like the whole entry point to esports for kids,
stuff,
like the idea of like bringing children into the realm with something that's a little easier in terms of a barrier of entry that they might eat up, and then later on it's like a transitioning period, like play t-ball before you play baseball, like whatever.
Yeah.
We threw Alice under the bus, and she picked that bus up and threw it across the city. Essentially, is what happened. So, well done.
Expert level.
It was good.
I don't know if we should fear the whole Nintendo or Disney kind of matchup. I think it's a good venue, and I think it speaks very loudly to the point that you just made, Alice, that if you're going to partner with anybody that wants to get access to kind of a younger demographic, why wouldn't you go with Disney? You know what I mean? So that makes a certain amount of sense to me.
I'm interested if they're gonna wrap it into the whole Disney thing where it's like you said, the current presentation of it is miles away from the way that they do Dota and League of Legends tournaments, where it's like these big arenas.
It's a rock concert,
tons of people. Yeah, like a rock concert. Now this was more like the Nintendo Power kind of
I feel like I've seen
from the 80s, and like look at how happy we are, and then behind the scenes they keep cutting every 5 seconds, telling them to smile bigger until their cheeks hurt, and then and I think that I'm curious to see if they just keep wrapping that into the Disney thing. Like, I don't know if you've seen any Disney sitcom shows by accident or on purpose anytime recently, but holy shit,
it's like neon colors and Adderall got into a fight and somehow produced a narrative that is whatever a Disney XD teen drama show.
Yeah, it's like you have ADD. Here you go. Like, you don't need to follow the plot because we're gonna just go off on tangential experiments with you.
That's it.
Don't they have a show now where it's based around a professional gamer or something?
I would not be surprised.
It was something like so first of all, I don't watch Disney XD programs, I'll just say that. So if I get it wrong, and also, please don't think that I spend my spare time watching Disney XD shows. But
it's okay if you do. It's all right.
No, I spend my time ignoring the main plot of Fallout 4 and building my settlement and stuff. But no, like with the Disney XD, they have a show now where it's like this boy was a professional gamer and then he broke his thumb, so he had to go back to school or something, and I was like, what is this show?
For someone who doesn't watch Disney XD, it seems like an inordinate amount about a
It'll be
TV
better
show
if she
that may or may not exist.
Slips out like a couple characters' names, like in the it's like, I don't know what it's called though, but Timmy was like at the
3.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds exactly like something that they would do. So yeah, I would assume that you're probably correct and that there is something part of their regularly scheduled programming.
Then feel free to take that idea and run with it. So give me credit.
Absolutely, 100%.
Well, it's like the VGHS stuff that Freddie Wong did. That's what that reminds me of.
I'm not sure I know what you're talking about.
Video Game High School.
Oh, yeah. VHS. Okay, sorry. It took me a second.
Sorry, I didn't mean to use an acronym where I shouldn't have. Sorry, guys.
SDFU, bro. All right. Third, final, main topic for the day. We're going to talk about the Bark and Borrow app. An article from apartmenttherapy.com. Terry Bellucci was the author, but pulling from a few different resources like their App Store page, for instance. A new app called Bark and Borrow is helping connect dog owners to dog owner wannabes and possible dog sitters. It's available now on iOS. You're welcome, Bark and Borrow. Sounds pretty great, right? You want to cuddle with a dog, but you don't want the responsibility for caring for it. So this is the app for you. It comes with a bunch of features like linking to pet insurance if you need to insure a pet, or customer support for the app itself, and a user vetting process, which I'm curious about and we'll get to in a moment. But basically what this does is you're maybe a 20-something single apartment dwelling individual who decides that as much as it would be nice to have a dog, maybe your landlord doesn't allow pets in the building or something, and but you need some good pet time. You want to have time in a park with a friendly four-legged animal that you can throw a tennis ball to, or a stick, or just
we get it. You don't have to give more exampps.
Okay.
Dog. That's fine.
I thought I was on a roll there, but whatever. I'll go fuck myself. It's fine. What's cool about it is that you can kind of like meet up and basically find other dog owners that are willing to kind of pimp out their pets to want to be owners, or people that otherwise maybe can't necessarily own a dog based on their circumstances. So, Joe, you're a dog owner.
Yes.
You've got two pugs.
Right.
Yeah. Are you gonna sign up? No, I'm not saying are you. Would you even consider doing this, or like pimping out your dogs to other people based on their interview and how well it went?
Yeah, I'm totally going to deflect your question and
ask Alice if she's a dog owner.
No. I don't know. Well, actually, I am going to get
another bus.
Yeah, no.
Throw it at me.
You picked up the last one. You probably need a rest. I actually, the reason why I'm going to deflect is because there's so many ways you can go with questions about this app. There's surprisingly more than you'd think you could talk about this. That I have way more concerns before I could even come to any kind of a decision. Like, what if, like, from the dating perspective, your dog doesn't look like its picture? Well, that's a problem, because then you're a liar. And I really wanted a dog that
looked like that. You want a picture did, yeah.
Right, okay.
Like a picture of a Jack Russell, but you actually have a pug, and then someone's just like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, what is this smash face? What is this thing? It doesn't even have a nose. What is this?
What did you do to that Jack Russell? That's just...
Its eyes are looking in two opposite directions.
Like, you ran into a wall right before we brought him over to you. I don't know what to tell you. So there's that aspect. There's the aspect of what responsibility does this borrower have? Like, what if I give my dog to somebody and that day the dog escapes from the front door because they're confused about what house they're in, and they go running out into the street and get hit by a damn car? What the fuck is going to happen at that moment? Mm-hmm. I feel like I need to wait for some of those lawsuits to blow over to understand how this app is going to work before I'd even remotely consider putting my own animal up there.
It reminds me, I guess, of like how Uber like kind of is growing, and like they went through a lot of pains where their drivers like attacked the customers or something.
Other way around, though.
The customers attacking the drivers in a way. Yeah, but it's like, it seems like a really good idea, and it seems to work really well, but you're going to have those stories where someone's dog gets like I don't know, electrocuted or something. I have no...
What?
I don't know.
Seems rather extreme.
Is Edison going to run a Topsy experiment on my puppy?
Like, those are the stories we're going to hear. Like,
what was that, Alice?
Who was just accidentally tasing a dog or something? Like, what is happening?
I happen to live inside I happen to live inside a chocolate factory. I hope this dog doesn't eat anything. Like,
yeah, but some of these aren't even going to be accidents. Like, you're going to rent it out to a customer, and they're going to electrocute your dog on purpose, and you're like,
there could be stupid assholes.
I'm going to give them
that's
a
legit
1-star
concern.
I'm going to give them a 1-star rating on this app now or something. Like, is that appropriate?
Killed my dog. 1 star.
Killed my dog. 1 star. Oh my god,
that's horrible. Well, I think so there is like a whole interview process. Like if you swipe right on this guy's dog, for instance, you can you actually have to schedule a time to meet the proper owner, and they like vet you based on it's like, oh, so what will you be doing with my dog today? Like, where are you going to be taking it? That kind of thing. And apparently there's a PayPal feature built into the app as well. So literally, like, people can pimp their dogs. It's like, you can pay me $20 to hang out with my dog for an hour. Just don't,
So you're basically just getting somebody to dog sit your dog, but they're paying you to do it.
Correct. Or vice versa.
Or the other way around,
like
too.
I think it works both ways. Where like if it's a professional dog sitter, and I'm the owner, I can pay my sitter through the app appropriately. But if
it's like Airbnb, but for dogs at this point, where somebody is willing to pay some money to do one or the other. Originally, a lot of people had talked about it not being a paid service when I was reading about it before, like a while back when I first heard about it, and that idea was a little more compelling to me. Because then it plays a little bit more on the idea that there's somebody who really badly wants the company of a dog that they can't dedicate, the next 9 years of their life for. And they have that opportunity. And then the person who's the owner has the opportunity to go on a vacation for a weekend and get free dog sitting. And I don't think that that's a bad scenario by any means. Like, I get free dog sitting and you get the companion of a dog that you can't, because you can't have one. I think it's like the absolute perfect mutual scenario if it actually worked like that. The moment a bunch of money is involved from both sides, it gets really confusing to me about what the value of this app really is.
And that's kind of like a larger metaphor for the real world, but I agree with you in the sense.
No money economy. That's my economy.
Anarchy, motherfucker. No, I agree with you. On paper, this is kind of like a great thing because people need love, and sometimes that love comes from pets. Man, you know what I mean? Cuddle up with a 4-legged friend. Like that sounds good. And if you have a dog and you're willing to share the awesomeness that is your pet, then by all means get on the Bark and Borrow app. But,
the first question I would ask someone if I was going to give them my dog is, do you own a jar of peanut butter?
Oh God.
If the answer is yes,
maybe they're less likely of a candidate.
My answer is no.
Alice, are you a dog owner?
I'm not. No.
Are you?
I'm a wannabe dog owner.
Okay.
So
you fit into
you fit into the perfect demographic. Like, how do you feel about this app from that perspective? Would you want to grab a random dog
the first thing I wrote in my notes before I did any research was just in all caps, yes, because I was like, oh my God,
right,
dogs. But then I thought about it.
And what conclusion did you come to? I'm curious.
Well, I mean, a lot of it like the guy who made it was like, there's no in between from committing yourself to owning a dog for the next 16 years or not having a dog. And I was like, I have friends that have dogs. I can like go around their houses and hang out with their dogs, and frequently do go around their houses, ignore them, and hang out with their dog instead. So,
Sounds like you don't need this app at all. You got this covered. Yeah.
Yeah, until my friends move away, and then I'm like, can you give me the dog?
Right.
You move, I'll take the dog.
Right. Can we get like a shared like a shared custody of the dog if you move away? That kind of, like, do I get every other weekend and holidays, or like how does this work?
Yeah, I should start, but then you have to pay dog child benefits. And
yeah,
then, I can make that commitment.
Fucking alimony, the whole deal. Yeah.
And also they're like, oh, it's having the dog, but without all of the bad stuff that comes with it. And I'm like, but if I'm hanging out with somebody's dog and their dog shits on my carpet, I'm still going to have to clean it. So I can't get them to come back to my house and be like, this is what your dog did, now you clean it up. So, unless I can do that, and then I will.
This is valid.
I don't feel like the situation when you couldn't do it, but that might just mean that you're a jerk. But you could totally do it. It like be like, hey, your dog made a mess. You should clean that up. Now get out.
I've
get your
left
dog
it here for the 2 days that you.
Right. Like I paid for this. I'm not paying to clean my own floor up. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Yeah, whatever. I don't know. This whole.
Also, it's not on Android, so I'm like, well, I can't use it anyway. Then can I?
Oh, is it not?
I only saw it on iOS. So.
Oh well, Nick and I both have Android phones as well.
I'm still an Apple guy, unfortunately. But,
yeah, unfortunately, you are.
4 whatever. It's easy. It's fine. I like intuitive things. All right.
Well, wait. There's one point that I kind of got out of where Alice was going with that, because if you have a good friend network and enough of them have dogs, then you kind of solve that problem already. And I never really thought twice about that comment that the app said about there not being this in between. Well, that is the in between, right? But that means that the people who are left after the people who already have friends who have dogs are people who don't have friends at all. Do you want those people watching your dog? Is the question I have for you. This is the remaining demographic that really needs this app would be the people who have no friends and no dogs, and they want your dog.
I want to be maybe a little naive and say that maybe that dog, break that person out of their shell, maybe, and be hopeful.
That was adorable.
Thanks, man.
That was so cute.
Puppy dog eyes coming in.
They could just go to the shelter though and like hang out with dogs for a little bit.
That's true too.
If they wanted to.
They could go volunteer at their local, humane society or something.
There's always Instagram.
Cuddle up next to some dog pictures.
But then then the dog pictures definitely don't look like the real dogs because everybody's filtering the crap out of those pictures. It's
hashtag no filter, bro.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good one. All right. Lightning round. Time for the lightning round.
Yeah.
We have to get a sound effect for that.
Don't worry about it. It's after a Patreon when people give us lots of money. To have a lightning round.
While some of you know how this works, others may not. So we'll break it down for you. We're going to take a few quick topics, in this case 2, and I think all of us are going to take a minute right now to chime in on how they feel. Largely interrupted, you will have 60 seconds to kind of just talk about the topic, talk about whatever you want, really, and we will award points based on nothing in particular. Today, the first topic will be The Kojima versus Konami saga continues, and had one of its larger developments last week when Kojima-san was barred from attending the Video Game Awards in L.A. Metal Gear Solid 5 was up for a bevy of awards, and who else should accept them? Who, I ask you, who? Damn it. Well, apparently the answer is Kiefer Sutherland, but regardless, this is the latest in a series of seemingly draconian acts by Konami. So we're going to use our minutes here to slather this with either a shit ton of conjecture and or not, and hopefully come out of it with something semi-reasonable. Yeah, I'll take the first minute this time around.
Oh, you can have it.
All right.
Go for it.
So we're all aware that when Ground Zeroes was getting pimped as like the precursor to Phantom Pain rather, and then obviously the subsequent release of Phantom Pain, Kojima is no stranger to the very elaborate and very in-depth publicity stunt. So what I'm hoping here, really, what's happening, is just some very convoluted publicity stunt between Konami and Kojima that is basically like, oh yeah, we hate Kojima and we're gonna like bar him from going to the Video Game Awards and we're gonna fire him but basically keep him on retainer so that he can't go work on anything else. And as this saga develops and yada yada yada, anybody who's familiar with it knows what I'm talking about. But what if there was Ground Zeroes and then there was Phantom Pain. Sorry, I did that twice. Fuck. And we're finally gonna get like actually what the like final chapter of Metal Gear Solid 5 in like 3 months that just like comes out of nowhere and it's like, fuck you guys, joke's on you, enjoy your game, that kind of thing. That would be the best possible resolution to this entire scenario. And then Kojima gets back together with Del Toro and they keep making Silent Hills. But I'm done.
Yeah, your minute was up like 2 seconds ago.
It's a little hopeful.
It is very. I'm trying to be optimistic.
This is great because we don't really have like a point scale, but it tends to happen because you define it early.
I do.
But because you went first,
okay.
Alice, just so you know, whenever the host of the show goes for his minute, the guest gets to award him points. So feel free to give him points.
Oh God.
It doesn't even matter.
System.
Yeah.
There is no system. So.
And you can decide.
Last week I was awarded 3 Doritos Locos Tacos and a bottle of Baja Blast. Like that was my award. So you can literally do whatever you want.
Just account for conversion as well in this scenario.
It's like
Okay. In which case, I will give you £50, and whatever that is in your money, you can have your toy money. I'll give it to you.
In my toy money.
So I was going to say, she just gave you like...
Spoken by someone
she gave
who
you a dollar amount for a score, which means now you're going to be like, after the show, you're going to send her an email. Like, remember that money you owe me?
Yeah, like you owe me 50,
and I'll be like,
quid,
what money?
Yeah, right. That puppet money that you guys use? Yeah, exactly. All right, well, thank you for that. I appreciate it. So, all right.
So £50 is the
what even is £50 in dollars? I don't even know.
It's
less than...
It's probably I think it's like
it's like 1.2 or something.
Is it 1.2? I thought it was like closer to 1.5, actually.
Maybe then, yeah.
Maybe. Anyway.
$75 maybe?
Yeah, probably less.
Isn't it the exchange rate the opposite direction?
No, pounds are worth more than $1, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So
yes, they are.
50 pounds is
$75
is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Sorry, I was thinking backwards.
We're
I do know how it works. Don't
That's
worry.
a guess, though.
Right. I don't know. That being said, Mr. Arroyo, I'm going to give you the second minute when you chime in here.
This kind of sucks, actually, this minute I'm about to take.
Why?
Because I was going to say exactly what you were going to say. Where I was terribly interested. I mean, out of anyone, right, Kojima is the guy that does this kind of shit. He does. I mean, if you played PT, you get to the end of that game, and the dumbest shit you've ever seen occurs where I was having a lot of fun, and now I have to go to the fucking pause menu to find a piece of a picture. Are you kidding me, Kojima? What the fuck are you doing? But then I'm like, oh, wait. That's Kojima. That's how he works. That's how he's always worked. That's how I knew to put the controller in the second port in the first Metal Gear Solid, and so on and so forth. So he's the guy who, I think it's the second Metal Gear Solid, your screen keeps cutting out, and they tell you that you need to stop playing the game and turn your system off over and over again. So it seems like the same kind of guy who's going to make some big elaborate ploy where he's getting ousted by his own company and suddenly release like a brand new game or be a part of some bigger picture that we were all just like, it's just basically like, fuck you guys, we did it on the grandest scale possible, which was real life. I don't believe that's actually true, but I wish.
None of us do, but we're all hoping that might be the case. Yeah. All right. I will award you £49, sir, because frankly
it was the same point.
Yeah,
it should be 51.
I made it better, so
Oh,
Yeah, that's right. I did. I said it.
all right.
Mr. Golish.
All right. I guess I'll take this a little bit differently because the way you guys are describing it reminds me of that one comedian that Jim Carrey played in the movie called Man on the Moon or something.
Andy Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman or something. He had a lot of jokes where the jokes was very much like for his entertainment, where like he would like disrupt the broadcast a little bit so that people would get up and like hit the TV or something. And Kojima does actually the same thing or something. And I don't know, like, I don't know if I really appreciate it as much. Like it's fun and it's cool once you're in on the joke, but a lot of people aren't in on the joke, and I don't know, like the way I look at this publicity stunt is it would be a mess then, like, because now you got people that may not be involved in it standing up, giving a speech about like, why is Konami doing this to him or something, like, and if this is a stunt, then they're making an ass of themselves, and Konami and Kojima are making an ass of the people that are reporting the story. So I don't know, like, it's just a different viewpoint on it, I guess. Yeah.
For which I am grateful, and I will award you €50. So figure out the conversion to find out who's winning right now. Alice, now that we've all had our turn here, I have to throw it back to you. So
Okay.
you've got a minute.
Throw the bus at me again.
At least you get rewards this time in arbitrary points. or currencies that
With more buses.
All right,
So
ready to go.
I think they brought out PT, a horror game. So I think maybe they're just extending the horror a little bit. So everybody's like, "Oh, that was such a scary game," and they're like, "I'll show you a scary game." And then they try and oust. They try and oust Konami, and then everyone cries. And then at the end, which was sort of the point you make, they go, "Oh, hey, look, also Silent Hill."
A good use of your minute for not even taking a full 60 seconds to make an excellent point that furthers both mine and Joe's piggyback point. But I think that would be cool. I agree that.
How many buses is that worth?
Just
How much?
just pay her in pesos or something.
Pesos because of the beer recommendation.
Right, the tequila thing. I'm gonna give you.
It's gotta be a lot of
I'm
pesos,
gonna give
buddy.
you. I'm gonna give you
Just
a
letting
a city bus full of pesos. That is your reward for that minute. So I'm sure it's safe to say that you're probably winning at the moment. All right, second lightning round topic. Who's Your Daddy is a fatherhood simulator currently in its alpha stages that simulates a frantic father trying to baby-proof his house, apartment, I don't know, while his baby is running rampant trying to cause as much personal harm as possible. Take it from me, guys, the struggle is real. I have a 1-year-old at home, and it's now that he's mobile, it's all bets
drink.
are off. Yeah.
What's under the sink?
Right, like, yeah.
What's in this oven?
Yeah, exactly. How do I? Oh, it's on already.
Oh, it's me.
It's
Oh God.
Which is actually a sequence that you can play in the game. I'm gonna. So it's second and last topic. So obviously, I think we're gonna end with Alice again. So I'll start with you, Joe, this time. First minute on Who's Your Daddy. Thoughts
All right,
and feelings.
yeah, thoughts and feelings. So I feel like I'd always play as the dad because the idea of playing as a child who is actively trying to kill themselves seems like it's way more profound than it should be. In fact, it's not on the base level because of what it means. But as soon as you gamify it and you're a little baby crawling around trying to drink Drano and shit, like I feel terrible about myself watching that part and imagining being that person. I feel like if I played as the baby, I would just sit there and be like, "Hey, Dad, I'm not gonna do anything wrong. Go ahead and do the chores and get your power-ups." Like, I have no reason to get inside this cupboard, lock myself in there, and then drink whatever bleach is under the sink. Like, so, I'd always play as the dad, I think. And I just, it's that whole problem we have with those hero-villain type games where you just, no matter how hard you try, you end up going the angelic route at some point, right? And that's what I would do with this game, I think.
Okay. I appreciate your honesty. I will award you the extra pound that ties you up with
you
me.
dickhead.
So we're tied.
What a dick.
Mr. Golish,
Hey.
thoughts and feelings on Who's Your Daddy?
I really like this. I think Joe makes a good point, but I think if you were to play it more and you got really competitive, you would be a lot more into like trying to beat the dad or something because it's a game against another person. Mm-hmm. What I really like about this is the asymmetry of the gameplay where people are playing by completely different rules, but they're playing the same game against somebody. And that, I'd like to see more games like that. It reminds me of the other game, it's like
Evolve?
Don't Stop Talking or The Bomb Explodes. I can't remember what it's called exactly. Where one person has a VR headset on and they're looking at the bomb and they don't know how to solve it because the other person that doesn't have the VR headset is looking through the manual. And when you have like gameplay where not everybody's playing the same game, but you're actually working together to like solve a problem in a way, it's kind of cool. And
they're not working together.
They're not working together, but they're playing the same game, but they're playing it differently to achieve victory. I don't know. It's kind of cool.
No, I think you're spot on. Good?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to give you another 50 euros. So you're probably above the 50 pounds that Joe and I both have at the moment.
And maybe the bus full.
Maybe the bus full of pesos. Depending on how that works out at the moment. But, all right. I just want to... All right, so me, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
I want to take a minute to thank Joe David Williams, who is the designer, it's a one-man show, right, for this game, I believe?
Yes. At the moment.
That finally made a game that is representative of my life, and as I'm currently living it. Although my baby can walk and not crawl, I bet you that's like the
level
new
2.
game plus. That's new game plus for Who's Your Daddy. But I was actually kind of shocked about how like there's certain scenarios that he got kind of right. I haven't had the oven problem yet, but my son definitely has a kind of an affinity for being like, oh, what's under the sink and what can I put in my mouth, like dishwasher pods and stuff like that. It's kind of,
oh my god,
yeah, it's scary. It's super scary. Thankfully, we've escaped any kind of nonsense, but I am honestly very curious to play this because at some point when my son is grown, I want to be able to pull up my Steam account or the modded version of this game and be like, now that you're like a grown man, I want to have this out for like once and for all. You know what I mean? Which would be pretty great. So I cede all of my extra time.
You didn't have any?
Yeah, okay.
Alice, what does it get for this?
Okay, so I will give you... Have you guys ever been to London?
Yes.
No.
Okay, so you know how the public transport works with the Oyster cards and stuff?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I will give you another £50, but on an Oyster card. So
you can only travel
use it. You can use it on a bus or the underground.
Well, wait, can I ask you a question? Does the underground have Wi-Fi? The last time I was there, it did not.
Yeah, the stations do. So when you stop for that like 2 minutes when everyone's getting on and off, you can quickly use the Wi-Fi.
So if I have 2 minutes to download an episode of Double Tap using my Oyster card or with the Wi-Fi that is included in the underground, then I'm good. Okay, cool. Thank you. I just wanted to double check. Yeah, all right.
I liked that answer.
Does he get more money on his Oyster card? Because that answer?
I love to pander, so it's fun.
£51
on my Oyster card.
How much is one? I don't know. Does it depend on the distance, or when you go on the underground, is it one price?
Yeah, so it caps. It caps you daily as well. So I can't remember what the cap is because it depends what sort of like other card. So you can get like the 16 to 25 rail card and stuff. So it caps differently for different people. But yeah, it doesn't really matter the distance you go, I think, or something. Like if you accidentally take a really long route to get from one station to another, it'll charge you whatever the quickest way to get to that station would be. And all the buses are the same, no matter where you get on or off anyway.
Right.
It doesn't sound dissimilar to the way that New York City Transit works.
Well, because I did a study abroad in Nottingham, which is why I feel even dumber about getting the exchange rate inverted when it's like, really?
I live there. Yeah, it's fine.
But when we went to London as well, and it's one of those things when you're there and you have this like big like amount of money you brought for your trip, you're not thinking about those things. You're just like, yeah, take my money, I'm here, and like, and you just throw money at shit, and you don't even think about it twice. We had an Oyster card, but I had no idea like how much I was spending. I just got on the underground. It's like, all right, that's where I'm going.
And it's good. It's a good system when it works, but when you get on a bus and then you realize you have no money, then and there's nowhere to top up,
Oh shit.
That's
yeah.
I had a very angry bus driver giving me a slip of paper like, you owe £1.20.
He literally gave you a handwritten IOU. Really? Like that's
basically. And then it was like, you have to pay this within this amount of time. And I was like, I wonder what happens if I don't.
If I tear this up in front of you and throw it at you, what happens then?
But then I was like, transport for London could probably make my life hell, so I went and paid it.
Yeah, smart decision.
Be nice though if you're on the underground and it had Wi-Fi while you're on the train, so you could up your card online before you got off. I'm just saying.
Good point. Why don't you talk to Transport for London?
I'm on it.
Yo, Cameron, get on it, buddy. Get on it. All right. Alice, I think you
the final minute.
You got the final minute coming to us about Who's Your Daddy here. So
okay. So, video games have taught me a lot about my abilities as a virtual father figure. So, obviously, we had Telltale's The Walking Dead, which taught me that I can teach an 8-year-old badass survival skills that I don't even possess myself. The Last of Us taught me that I can transport a teenager across zombie-infested land without killing her or myself, while also sentencing an entire population to live in quarantine for the rest of time when I decide not to let them cut her brain open.
Oh my God.
And Fallout 4 taught me that I can spend several hours building my settlement instead of looking for my kidnapped son, but it'll all turn out okay in the end. So Who's Your Daddy also taught me about my skills as a virtual father figure, and that despite being able to help children from the ages of 8 up survive a zombie apocalypse, I can't stop a baby from jumping into an oven and killing itself.
this is okay.
All the pounds.
You literally have 3 seconds left if you want it, but I'm about to just.
Nah, I'm good.
Okay. No, you're fucking great, is what you
Holy
are,
shit,
because
that was so good.
That might be the best lightning round minute
Of all time?
on record ever.
Thank you.
So well done.
How many buses of pesos?
All the buses with all the pesos. So congratulations on I think I'm being the first ever declared winner of the lightning round.
Yeah,
we've
for real.
never
That's
ever
for real
declared a
winner
winner.
right there.
So yeah, well done.
Holy shit.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you for that. That was a great minute. That was a 60 seconds well spent for sure.
I wanted you to keep going at that point because I was just like,
what else is this?
so
What other
enthralled.
awesome games?
Yeah.
She would talk about because she's not wrong about any of it on a very literal level, but at the same time, bring it back around to Who's Your Daddy, and being unable to keep a baby from calling into an oven.
Well, I mean,
like
it
I
kinda
said,
plays
the
into
struggle's real, guys. The struggle's fucking real.
We were just
okay?
we just recently went to your place to celebrate, Finn's first birthday, and we all know that a first birthday party is not a celebration for the child. They have no idea what the fuck is going on.
Correct.
Instead, it's a celebration of the 2 humans that kept another human alive for 1 whole year. Congratulations
on the
We're
first
so proud
try.
of
On the
you.
first try,
Yeah,
guys.
don't fuck up the next year.
Yeah, exactly.
Have some cake and watch your kid get it all over his
Yep.
face. That's pretty much what
Absolutely
it is.
correct. So, well, thank you. I appreciate that. But congratulations to you, Alice, for absolutely crushing the lightning round there. That was pretty
Thank you very
fantastic.
much.
You should host your own podcast.
You really should. I don't know if you thought about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe I might do that.
All right. Let's call it. I think episode 75 is in the bag. There you have it. Thank you for being here, dear listener. As always, let us know what you think. Hit us up at cheatcodespodcast.com. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter as well. Get in on the conversation. Very special thanks here to Alice and her cohorts at audioBoom for all their continued support for the show. And a very special thank you to you, listener. You've kept us going for 75 episodes, which is nothing short of amazing by any stretch of the imagination. Mm-hmm. We wish we could have beers with all of you, and maybe one day we will. But until then, stay tuned for a new episode coming next week. More great guests coming very soon. And before I wrap this all the way up, Alice, thank you again. Let everybody know one more time.
Where can they stalk you?
Where can they stalk you on Twitter? And where? and other than obviously audioboom.com and a search function, and by tapping, double tap. I mean, where can we get the podcast?
Well, currently we are exclusively on audioBoom. So yeah, as you said, if you go on to audioBoom and just type in double tap, then that will come up. Also, yeah, if you want to stalk me on Twitter, it's Alice Taplin-ish, because somebody stole the Alice Taplin one, and she hasn't tweeted since June 2012.
Fucking savages. Unbelievable.
So yeah, and yeah, check out Double Tap, check out Cheat Codes, which is also on audioBoom, so...
It is
You know
indeed.
it.
It's not
You're
going
probably
anywhere.
already checking it out if you're listening to this episode, and I only just realised it.
You just got super meta and it was fine. Don't worry.
Yeah, but maybe
I
they
was
checked
like,
out one
audio
medium.
boom.
Towing the company line, and we appreciate it. But thank you. Yeah, obviously, thank you to you, Alex, for being here with us and taking the time out. And thanks to audioBoom for everything. And thank you, listener, for 75 awesome episodes. 75 more to come, at least. Hopefully.
Yeah, right. We're ending after.
No, at 115, absolutely not. But you have to excuse us now because we're late. We're late for a very important date.
Oh.
That was cute.
See you next time, everybody. Thank you.